It has been an absolutely sensational first season for the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine, but sadly we have come to the end, and what a place to finish. The Temple of Speed is where we are going to have our last race of the season. The grid has been set with qualifying earlier. We have a track that has mixed conditions. They will be on slick tyres, but the track isn't fully dry. There are damp patches in places, so this is going to be an absolute cracker. Let's go down to the grid and hear from Isaac Hadjar. Camilla is with him now.
Hi Isaac, congratulations. Isaac, just a moment. Isaac, sorry. Okay, Isaac, congratulations on your rookie title victory. How do you feel? What are your goals for today?
The target is just to win. Just want to win the race, that's it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Pretty straightforward target there. So Isaac Hadjar has a good chance of winning this today. He's going to be starting from the second row of the grid. If you missed qualifying earlier, it was the best one we have had all season. It changed every single lap. They were on wet tyres, but the track was drying with every single lap. It was a case of who crosses the line last goes to pole position, and the last car across the line was Dino Beganovic. He has all of his sponsors here with him this weekend, around 40 people here to support him. I saw them coming in this morning on a coach. Speaking of Dino Beganovic, let's go and hear from him now.
Hi Dino, congratulations. Is it your first pole position of the season? How do you feel? And I think it's the last race of the season, nothing to lose.
Obviously we want to end the season on a high. We have the pace, we showed it yesterday in the race and also in the wet conditions. So no, just the head down and hope for the best. Hope to end the season on a high.
Thank you.
Dino, someone who's been getting better and better as the season goes on. He took his first rookie win back at Spa, and then he took his second rookie win and his first overall podium in the second race at Mugello. He finished 5th yesterday, and today he's going to start on pole position. It has just been referred to us that the drivers will start behind the safety car. They are all on slick tyres, but race control has decided that we are going to start this one behind the safety car. I think that will come as good news to Dino Beganovic. When the safety car pulls away, he will have control of the pace. Let's go and hear from another of our rookies. It's Gabriele Mini.
Hi Gabriele, last race of the season. Are you happy with your performance so far?
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be the last race, so for sure I have to enjoy it. It was a bit of races that I was not starting in the first 2 rows, so yeah, we'll try to make the best out of this opportunity and we'll see how it goes.
Thank you.
Gabriele Mini, a driver who didn't finish yesterday. He qualified 5th earlier, but he will start 4th due to the fact that Paul Aron received a 2-place grid penalty for an incident in yesterday's race. 35 cars on the grid, 36 entered, 35 here to compete in the very final race of the season. We had our first race yesterday. It was a cracking race as well. If you missed it, it was in fully dry conditions, and we saw plenty of changes for the lead. In the end, it was Hadjar David from pole position who took his second win of the season. Isaac Hadjar finished in 2nd to crown himself the rookie champion. 3rd was Zane Maloney to lock out the podium for the RHGP team, and they are hoping to secure the team's championship in this race. They have a 30 points lead over ART. 4th was our champion, Gregoire Saucy. 5th was the A4, Dino Beganovic. Then 6th was Paul Aron. 7th was Franco Colapinto. 8th was Gabriel Bortoletto. Then it was Michael Belov and David Vidales, who starts alongside his teammate on the front row of the grid. And here it is in full for you. Dino Beganovic and David Vidales, row 1. Isaac Hadjar and Gabriele Mini, the 2 rookies, on row 2. Paul Aron and Gregoire Saucy on row 3. Hadjar David and Kaz Havercourt will start on row number 4. Row 5. 5 will be Patrick Pasma and Zane Maloney. Michael Belov and Alex Quinn are on row 6. Mari Boya and Franco Colapinto, row 7. William Alatalo and Sami Megatunif are on row number 8. Then on row 9 we have Konsta Lapalainen, much better than yesterday. Andrea Rosso alongside him. Ido Cohen and Delano Vanhoff, row 10. Row 11, Gianluca Petikov and Dudu Barrichello. Gabriel Bortoletto, 3 Brazilians in a row. Alongside him will be Nicola Marinangeli. Then it's going to be Tommy Smith and Francesco Pizzi. Axel Noss and Lorenzo Fluxa. Oliver Goethe and Callum Hedge and Emidio Pesce and Nico Gola come on row 16. And there's even more than that. Pietro Deligoanti and Alexandra Bardignon on row 17. Lena Bula will start on row number 18. But of course they will be in single file at the start. The race will start behind the safety car. It is dry out there, but there is damp patches, and race control have decided that it is best we start behind the safety car. This is going to be an absolutely cracking race because we have those conditions which are mixed. The 2 chicanes seem to still be a little bit slippy. The driver's saying that the Lesmos are okay, likewise Ascari and the final corner. But the second sector is where it is still a little bit tricky because very cold conditions here at Monza. Not like you would usually find in Italy. It is cold out there. So even though we've had a few races before us so far this morning, the track's still damp in places. The Italian F4 Championship were out earlier. They were on the slick tyres, but plenty of drivers in that race found themselves going off the circuit. As we do start behind the safety car, the clock is now ticking. Officially, the race has started. 30 minutes plus 1 lap as ever to close out our season. Let's talk you through a little bit more, the grid in a bit more detail. So Beganovic, first pole for him. David Vidales started the season on pole with a win. Can he end the season with a win? Hajar is our rookie champion. Gabriele Mini second in the rookie standings. 4 podiums for him this season. Can he add to that? Paul Aron, 2-place grid job for him. He's going to start 5th, looking to secure a top 3 finish in the championship. He's trying to close down Hadrian David for 2nd place as well. But with Hadrian David starting just a couple of places behind, he'll need David to go off the circuit. And Aron likewise will need to move forward. Habecourt will be 8th, 2 6th places for him are his best result this season. Hadrian David 7th took the win in race 1. 9th, Patrick Pasma, no points for him since Spa, could really do with a points finish to end the season. Dennis Maloney, who is currently 4th in the standings overall. Michael Belov could be one to watch in 11th. Then we had Alex Quinn, who was looking very good in qualifying, was on provisional pole, but he was first across the line, and that really worked against him come the end of the session. Murray Boyer didn't finish yesterday, so let's see what he can do from 13th. Colapinto needs to move forward 7th to match his finishing position of yesterday. Alatalo 15th, he's a winner here in F4. And then alongside him, Sami Megatunif, who starts pretty much where he finished yesterday. Then Lapalainen, Rosso, Cohen, who was 25th in race 1. Delano Vanhoff starts where his personal best result is in the championship. Petikov, Barrichello and Bortoletto, the Brazilians after that. Marinangeli, Smith, Pizzi, Noss, Fluxa, and then Goethe, Hedge, Pesce, Gola, Deligoanti, Bardignon, Bula. The lights on the safety car are out. The pace is now being controlled by Dino Beganovic for the final time in 2021. We are going to go racing in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. Round the final corner they come, and Beganovic will lead us up towards turn number 1 for the first time at full racing speed. Vidales tucked in behind in 2nd place. Across the line we go. The green flags are now waving. Hajar in 3rd, could be in trouble here. Mini closing in 4th place as they make their way down towards turn number 1. Are we going to see any moves being made to the right of screen in the red and white? Aron going round the outside of Gabriele Mini. Aron into 4th place. Brilliant move there from the Estonian. Aron up 1, another to go to make it a Prema 1, 2, 3. Hajar looked all out of shape going through turn 1, and we can see the track conditions It's damp off the racing line. You've got to be careful under braking. And Hajar immediately defends from Aron. Oh, a big look up from Vidales. He's gone straight on. Mini's gone straight on as well. That's going to see David moving up a place. Rejoining the circuit then is Vidales. Mini rejoins as well. In fact, that was Gregor Sorsi. Apologies to Mini. Sorsi was the car who went straight on. Havercourt in the red and black colours just making a move there as well in the MP Motorsport car. He's up another place as we now come down towards Ascari. There's David in the 10, leading Mini. Behind that is Havercourt. Then it's Pasma, but here comes Aron in the number 1, looking to the outside here of Hajar into Ascari and Aron. 2 places gained on the first lap. Brilliant stuff. Havercourt there trying to move at Ascari, and around the inside, Maloney there side by side with Gregor Sorsi, and Maloney has gone through. That's a change there for 9th place. Brilliant stuff there from Maloney. Very, very brave indeed, and Sorsi was the one who had to take avoiding action on the exit, but it looks like Belov trying to get down the inside of Maloney, so the move hasn't been made yet. The place hasn't been made, but as they come round the final corner, Maloney will be confirmed in 9th for now. As we make our way down the start-finish straight, you can see there Belov trying to get past Maloney, but Maloney has the toe of Havercourt, which is making it very difficult for Belov to make a move. Beganovic, his lead, 1.8 seconds from Vidales. Aron 3rd. Hajar seems to be a little bit settled in 4th. Franco Colapinto in the orange and blue gets past Belov there, so good driving from the Argentinian. The first move we've seen him make of this race. Here are the Ardent teammates. To the outside is Alatalo, to the inside is Quinn. Tucked in behind, we'll come back to that. Here's Maloney's move, bang, have some of that. Sorsi off into the gravel there. I don't think Sorsi's going to be too pleased about that, but Maloney went for the move and did it fairly cleanly. There was just nowhere else for Sorsi to go. Oh no, we've got a spinner. One of the FA Racing cars is round. Not too sure who that is. It could be Andrea Rosso. We'll find out when they come through the next sector. But we have an FA Racing car facing the wrong way. Let's hope it can get going again. Certainly Beganovic will hope it can get going again. He will not want a safety car at all. He's got a good lead so far in this race as we come into Ascari. There you can see the biggest movers and the biggest losers. Sorsi down in 13th place. Up 4 is Colapinto. Here's a replay. Oh no, it was someone going for a move and it hasn't worked at all. Car now facing the wrong way. That is Rosso in the 19. What a shame. It's a weekend that could have been very, very good for Andrea Rosso, but sadly it's turned into an absolute nightmare for him. He didn't finish yesterday. He was out on the opening lap after contact at the Roggia chicane at the exact same corner. We saw him spin there. Real shame. But we continue on with the race. There's plenty of overtaking being done in the background. Havercourt trying to defend here from Maloney. Maloney looking round the outside. Oh, Maloney skipping over the curbs at the Retavilio, and Maloney is going to take the place. He's surely going to have to give that one back to Havercourt there. He wasn't, well, from the angle we have, we can't really assess what happened, but Maloney will have to give that one back as Aron is now the one under pressure from Hajar. Hajar goes straight on at the chicane. There's absolutely no grip on the racing line through there. Here's a replay, and it looked like Havercourt was already running wide and Maloney skipped over the curbs with nowhere else to go. We only caught the end of it though, so we can't say too much about that one. Nevertheless, let's look in the background. Maloney has kept the place, so he's going to go with it until told differently. Beganovic's lead is extending so far as well. It's up to 2 seconds. The gap between Vidales and Aron is closing down, as we can see. It's down to 7/10 of a second. Oh no, Ido Cohen off. What a disaster. Cohen, who started this race in 19th place. Unfortunately, I don't believe it's going to go any further. And safety car deployed. Not good news for Beganovic. That car needs to be removed. Cohen is out, a real shame. He hasn't competed in the full length of this season. But if he's not up to other things, I really hope we see him do a full year next year. Safety car out then, and the field is going to bunch back up. We can take a quick breath, and then we will be back racing before you know it here at Monza. And while we have that, let's go through the full order then. So Beganovic leads from Vidales and Aron. It's a Prema 1, 2, 3. They lock out the podium just like RHGP did yesterday, but we then have the RHGP duo of Hajar and David 4th and 5th. Mini is 6th. Pasma up 2 places to 7th. Maloney then sits in 8th place. He's also up 2. Habicourt is down 1 to 9th. Colapinto has moved up 4 places to 10th. Belov 11th. Alatalo 12th. Then it is Saucy in 13th. Quinn 14th. Of course, Saucy dropping down after that side-by-side with Maloney. Quinn is 14th. Then Boyer, 15th place for him. Dropped a couple so far in this race. Van Hoff going along very well. He's up 5 places, up into 4 rather, to 16th. Bortoletto then sits in 17th. He's gained 6 so far in this race. Megatunev is 18th. Lapalena 19th. Petikov is 20th. Marin Angeli has gained 3 places to 21st. Was one of the quickest cars on track yesterday, Marin Angeli. Pincy 22nd, Barrichello 23rd, Fluxa 24th, Smith 25th. Then it is Hedge, Noss, Daligawanti, Bula, Goethe rounds out the top 30. Gola, Bardignon, Pescia come next. Rosso has been given a chance to get back into this race. And then Cohen, sadly, out of the race. Well, the lights are still on the safety car. It looks like we're going to get at least one more lap behind it before we will see some racing again. Well, this has just allowed the field to close up. Vidales, you know he's going to be planning his attack on Beganovic. Beganovic nailed the first start. Of course, we started the race behind the safety car for those of you just tuning in. And Beganovic got it absolutely spot on. It was into here, newly named Curva Alboreto, where Beganovic got his foot down and got a gap on Vidales. Megatunev there in the 97. He's been a real good enforcement into this championship. This is Tommy Smith, who hasn't been back home since February. It's been a long time for the Australian away from home. Spoke to him earlier. He's looking forward to going back and seeing his friends and family back in Australia. But such is the current times. A lot of drivers from that part of the world are having to face removing themselves to a different location. Okay, here was Cohen. I'm not too sure. We're not too sure exactly what happened, but we know the result was Cohen facing the wrong way and out of the race. A front wing was need to be recovered as well, which was left on the circuit. Here's Maloney trying to make places. His 2 championship rivals are both ahead of him. Aron in 3rd and David in 5th. As it stands, Aron would score 15 points there and David would score 10. So it would be Hadrian David as our vice champion and Paul Aron 3rd in the championship. Plenty of time still to go in the race though. 18 minutes to be exact. Safety car is going to come in on this lap as well. Beganovic driving with huge confidence in this race. Needs to just keep that going now here on the second restart, but Vidales knows that Beganovic has the pace to win this one. He was showing that in the first phase of this race. He pulled a gap of 2 seconds, and that was only extending from what we can see. Likewise, Vidales knows he was being caught by Aron, so I'd say this is all on him. He's going to have to go for a move straight away. They are teammates, but at this level of racing, teammates does not play a part. You are racing for yourself. There are super license points up for grabs. The higher you finished up, 25 to the winner, 20 for second, 15 for third, 10 for fourth. It goes down to 9th. So Vidales sits 10th in the championship. If he wants to get some of those super license points, he's going to need to extract the most from this race as he possibly can. Well, Beganovic will now take control once again. The familiar sight we saw from the start of the race Beganovic just trying to catch out Vidales, and I think he has done as he goes down now to the curve at Alboreto. Beganovic once again gets his foot down, and at the restart he is the one leading the way, and it's going to be Vidales under pressure as we go down towards the first corner. Vidales will be in the slipstream, but Aron's going to have an even bigger slipstream as they come down towards the first corner. Beganovic trying to break the toe. Are we going to see Aron, third in the queue, make a move here? Here they come down to the Rettifilio chicane, and Aron goes to the outside. Oh, contact there with Vidales. Aron goes straight on, and Vidales, has he picked up damage in all of that, as we now have a couple more drivers going straight on as well. Aron rejoins, and he's going to lose 2 places, one to Hajar, and David goes through as well. So side-by-side contact. We saw a similar incident which involved Aron and Boyer yesterday, albeit Aron was on the receiving end this time around. Out of the second chicane and down to the Lesmos we go, and this is very good stuff from Beganovic. Maloney's gone over the second chicane, and he's going to lose a place to Franco Colapinto in the orange and blue. Oh, contact there. Colapinto almost taking a spin. What a save that was from the Argentinian. He was almost fully sideways coming through Lesmo 1 there as they make their way now out of 2 and down towards the Ascari chicane. There's Petikov in the red and black number 11 car, but back to our leaders. Vidales needs to get a move on here because it's going to be Hajar who's pressurising him next. Through Ascari, and Beganovic has dropped the field. Here's another look at it. Vidales trying to come back across to take the racing line. Oh, well, I think Aron couldn't have been any further to the outside of the circuit there, Aron. Vidales had plenty of room on his inside. Oh no, Bortoletto, that is in the predominantly blue-coloured car, taking a spin. Here we go, this is a bit of drifting. There you go, side-by-side contact, and might have slightly exaggerated that one when I called it first time around, but another safety car. Well, Beganovic, having nailed that restart, is going to have to do it all over again. I'm looking over the start-finish straight. I can see where all of his fans are gathered. The Swedish flags are out, and they are going to be, once again, getting slightly nervous now because the field is going to close back up. I have a feeling this time around it's because of Pasma and Bortoletto. Pasma has sadly been caught up in that incident. A miserable end to the season for Patrick Pasma continues. No points, as I said, since Spa. Let's take a look at it then. Oh, wow. Well, it was contact coming through the cut-through. He was side-by-side with Maloney and Pasma. There was enough room for one car through there, but it wasn't designed for 2 cars to be going through side-by-side and racing. And Pasma's in the wall. Absolutely bizarre. What a frustrating incident. Trying to avoid incidents, Pasma finds himself involved in one. It's just not gone his way. He had a string of 5th places in the middle of the season when we were at Monaco and Paul Ricard and Spa. And then, since then, it really has just tailed off. He's been on the receiving end of lots of incidents. I laugh slightly because it's been that bad. It's been really that bad for Patrick Pasma. Things are just completely against him. But he's a very talented driver. I'm sure he'll be back next year stronger, even stronger than he was this time around. Well, Beganovic controlling the pace once more. Vidales second, Hajar third, David fourth, Aron is 5th, Mini is 6th, Havicourt 6th, Maloney is 8th, Colapinto 9th, Belov 10th. There's not been huge changes to the top 10. We've just lost Pasma from it, and Bortoletto, who was outside of the top 10, seems to, of course, he's dropped to the back, having been facing the wrong way through the first chicane. Whilst we are behind their safety car, I guess this is a good chance to talk about where we're going to be going next season. It's been an absolutely brilliant season, 35 cars on the grid in the final race. No doubt we're going to have just the same next year. We're going to begin back here at the Temple of Speed on the 23rd and 24th of April. Then we will go to Imola on the 7th and 8th of May. Then we will be back at the Monaco Grand Prix on the 28th and 29th of May. Hajar and Maloney were the drivers that won here this year, and I'm sure that's something they will remember for the rest of their lives. Then we go to Paul Ricard. We'll be supporting the GT World Challenge there on the 4th and 5th of June. We'll continue with them to Zandvoort on the 18th and 19th of June. Then it's the Hungaroring on the 9th and 10th of July. Our 7th round will be at the Spa 24 Hour on the 28th and 29th of July. Then we head to the Red Bull Ring on the 10th and 11th of September. We had some brilliant racing there earlier. Barcelona on the 15th and 16th of comes next on the 15th and 16th of October. I hadn't really written down a month there, but I'm going to assume that is October. And then we end our season at Mugello on the 22nd and 23rd of October. That's all coming next year. Considering this has been the first year for this championship, this has been an absolutely fantastic first year. Round the first chicane we go, but this is some sight, isn't it, to see all of these drivers. Where are some of these going to go next? You look at the FIA F3 Championship, no doubt many drivers this year are going to jump up to the FIA Formula 3 Championship next year, and that's exactly what this championship was designed for. It's to bridge the gap between F4 and F3, and I'm sure that will prove its success when we see drivers heading up next year. Of course, they have their test, their first test coming up next week, and I'm sure we're going to see plenty of drivers from the championship there. It'll be great to see how they all get on. Likewise, though, as drivers leave, new drivers arrive, and we will have new faces coming into the championship next year from the likes of the Italian F4 Championship, which has been racing with us for the past 2 rounds. Oh dear, we got a red flag. Red flag is out. I believe this is for the incident involving Patrick Pasma. That was the information referred to me, so it could be damage to the barriers. Hopefully it's nothing serious to Patrick himself. We hope that he is all safe. Any information I get, I will feed directly to you, but we are going to have a red flag. 9 minutes and 50 seconds plus the additional lap left in this race. We haven't really had many red flags this season. The only one I recall is Monaco, where we had that huge incident coming out of turn 1. Everyone was okay, but given we had a car, of course, that was a big incident, unfortunately, which saw many drivers involved. And that's the only time I believe we've had one this season. It's been a clean season of racing overall. And this incident was just a really unfortunate one. 2 drivers going through the cut through that. Of course, you don't go through there often. You don't go through there you never test that out to see how much grip there is. But I think it was a case of not enough room for 2 and not enough grip either. But the cars are all going to be now making their way back down into pit lane. I have to say, Dino Beganovic has handled this race very well so far, hasn't he? We started it behind the safety car. He immediately got himself a lead, built that lead up to 2 seconds. Then another one came out, and it's, considering Dino is a rookie, it would have been very easy to get flustered in that situation. But Dino just gathered himself once more, took the situation as it was. And as we got going again, he did exactly the same thing. He had got his lead up to 1.7 seconds. Dino, a member of the Ferrari Driver Academy. Just his 2nd season in the single-seaters as well. Got on the podium back at Mugello. And this is not a track that he has hugely fond memories of. He's only been here once before in Italian F4, and it was his worst round of the season when he came here. So as a driver, when you come back to a circuit you've not done very well at, it can play mind games with you. But Dino, the 17-year-old, has so far coped with this situation very, very well. overall in the championship. He sits just outside of the top 10. He can move past Patrick Pasma, but he's not got any possibility of moving higher than 12th in the championship. William Alatalo ahead of him is more than 25 points ahead of him in the championship. So even a win would not see Dino move past him. Point system in Formula Regional is very similar to Formula One. It's points for the top 10, 25 for the winner, 18 for second. Motorsport fans, you know how the rest goes. You don't get any points, though, for fastest lap nor pole position. In terms of the rookie standings, they are made up by your overall points. So whatever you score in the overall championship, that crosses over to your rookie championship. We don't do a separate point system for the rookies, which means it makes the battle, it does make the battle a little bit more interesting. It makes, you can gain a lot of ground on another rookie by finishing higher up the order. It's not a case of if you finish first and they finish fifth, you'll get the points for first and they'll get the points for second. Here's how the race has gone so far. We started behind the safety car. Beganovic led us in towards the first corner. Hajar got it all out of shape. Aaron went round the outside of Mini to get himself straight up into fourth place. And then he did the same on Hajar to get himself up into third place as we came through the Ascari chicane. Maloney side by side here with Saucy. Very brave stuff there to get himself up into ninth place. Ido Kovin took a spin down at the second chicane. That brought out a safety car, and we were off away and racing again. The two teammates making contact into turn one. Vidal on the inside, Aaron to the outside, being forced to take the escape road. Then we had a spin for Gabriel Portoletto, some sort of incident involving him, and then this is why we're stopped, because we had an incident with Maloney and Pasma coming through the cut-through at the second chicane, and that has meant we have had to bring out the red flags. Well, some work is going on at that section of the circuit. All cars back into the pit lane then. I did talk a little earlier about the super license points. Of course, you need a select amount of those to be able to race at the very top level of the sport. So they are awarded to the top 9 in the championship. 25 go to the champion, so they will go to Saucy. 20 to second, which is very likely to be David, and 15 to third, which is looking very likely to be Aaron. Maloney looks set to finish in fourth place. He will take 10, fifth will take 7, sixth will take 5, and then it will be 3 for 7th, 2 for 8th, 1 for 9th. Getting those is a huge part of the feeder series racing, adding up those points to your license as you go through. So every place counts. When there is a champion crowned, the season is not over, so to speak. You are looking to get as high up the order as you possibly can. But we still remain under red flag conditions. When we get going again, we'll have 9 minutes and 50 seconds plus the additional lap. As I said, this is the very last race of the season. It's been a fantastic season so far. We will reflect a little bit more about that, but let's now head into the pit lane where Camilla is.
Hi, Ralph. Last race of the season. What can you say about this amazing championship?
I mean, it's a really difficult championship. It's been a long season, and we've been improving all the season. Now we're back in the front, and right now we're 1, 2, and 5th, and the target is to get all 3 cars on the podium.
Thank you.
Ralph Aron, team manager there from Prema. Well, imagine he would have been a bit nervous seeing his, of course, 2 cars making contact there, but the goal is to get them, as he said, have a podium lockout, which RHGP did yesterday. Looking back through the season, and speaking of Prema, they were the ones who started on the top step of the podium. David Vidales, when we started our season, back at Imola, we were supporting F1 there. He drove through to take the win. Saucy then claimed victory from pole position on the second day, and that would lead to a string of a hat-trick of wins. Gregor Saucy, as we continued supporting F1 at Barcelona, would take both wins. Then we would head to Monaco, of course, for our grandstand event, the Monaco Grand Prix, where Isaac Hadjar would win on the first day and Zane Maloney would win on the second day. Hadrian David would then win at Paul Ricard, and that was the first time in the season we had someone win that hadn't started on pole position. However, we would continue back in the trend with Saucy taking another hat-trick of wins at Paul Ricard, and then Zandvoort. Both wins went to Gregor Saucy. Then we went to Spa, where Michael Belov from pole position would take the win. And race 2, guess what, from pole position, Gregor Saucy would take the win. Colapinto had his name at the top of the podium. That came when we went to the Red Bull Ring. Saucy got it in the second race. Colapinto was back on the top step though when we went to Valencia. Belov then got his second win of the season, and then it was the time of Paul Aron, who hadn't had a win up until that point. He would win both races at Mugello, and then taking the win yesterday was Hadrian David. It's only been on 2 occasions so far this season that a driver has won that has not started in pole position. A huge percentage of drivers winning from pole. As I said, only twice so far has that not been the case in 19 races. So the chances of Dino Beganovic sealing victory are incredibly high. And that will be good news to all of his support group. As we said, he's brought all of his sponsors here with him this weekend, around 40 people in total who came in on a coach earlier today. They've been here all weekend supporting him. Anytime you walk past Prema, there is just a huge entourage of people stood outside. And so far, he's treating them to a pretty good show, I'd say. 5th yesterday, and so far leading the way here this morning at Monza. But how's it going to be when we get going again? We haven't had cars going around the circuit for a while, so track temperature is going to go down slightly. Drivers are going to have to get themselves back in the zone straight away. Not easy to do. And then it will be effectively a 10-minute sprint. But he has led perfectly so far from the front of the field. Let's see if he can continue that into next year. Into when we get going again, rather. Hope you've all enjoyed the action from the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine this year. It's been a real pleasure to be a part of. Such an exciting atmosphere every time you come into the paddock. Particularly when we went to the likes of Monaco, but the grid has never dropped. We've never been below 30 cars. We started with 35 cars at the opening round, which had to be reduced to 33, with 2 drivers being forced to withdraw. But otherwise, we've always been over 30 cars, which is an incredibly consistent number. And as we get to the end of the season, we are seeing new faces coming in. For this round, Konsta Lapalainen came in for Yasin Ferrati at KIC Motorsport. Dexter Patterson was due to come in for Jose Garfias at Monolite. He was here Thursday. Sadly, he had to go home on Friday. We hope Dexter is doing well. I did give him a message. He said it was good, but of course, really missing not being here. However, he said he's hoping to be back on the grid next year. Callum Hedge came in from New Zealand. And Callum Hedge, who has been racing with Porsche in the Porsches over in New Zealand. And Callum Hedge doing good so far. He's been quite impressive considering he's raced Porsches all year. He finished 22nd out of 35 cars yesterday. Now, I can say Patrick Pasma has been extracted out of the car safely. and he is doing okay. That is what the cause of the red flag has been. Patrick Pasmo was needing to be extracted from the car. We are awaiting to hear what will happen with the rest of the race. Officially, we have 9 minutes and 50 seconds still to go. Hopefully, we see the rest of that played out, because it's been a fantastic race so far. Lots of overtaking within the top 10. A rookie leading the way out front. I don't think Dino will be too disappointed if the race is called a result. But hopefully, in our final race of the season, we see this one taken to the checkered flag. Of course, this has been quite a lengthy delay, and we are not the only thing racing here at Monza today. We have an endurance race after this. Things need to run to a timetable. But I'm keeping my fingers crossed, as I know all you are, that we get the word that the race will resume and we see the cars heading back out onto the circuit. Your order: Beganovic, Vidales, Hajar, David, Aron, Mini, Havercourt, Maloney, Colapinto, Belov, Alatalo, Saucy, Quinn, Boyer, Megatunif, Vanhoff, Petikov, Barrichello, Pizzi, Marinangeli, Fluxer, Smith, Hedge, Noss, Deligawanti, Bula up 9 places to 26th. Good drive by her so far. Goethe 27th, Gola 28th, and then it's Pescia, Rosso, Lapalainen, Bardignon, Bortoletto, Pasma and Kona both out of the race. On behalf of the series, I would like to thank everyone who has been a part of, who has tuned in and supported the championship, albeit through the streams, through social media, and even those who came to watch the events when crowds were allowed. Thank you to everyone who has supported and tuned in to the championship this year. It has been an overwhelming response to a brand new championship. We've had tons of viewers tuning in on the live stream, and I really would like to say thanks to everyone who has been a part of that. This is only the start. Next year, we will look to grow this even further. That's if we can, because we had 36 cars this round. So if we can get more on, and certainly we will. The championship looking to progress next year with perhaps some updates made in different areas of the championship, and already we've launched a very exciting calendar. 10 rounds once again, supporting F1 at the Monaco Grand Prix and supporting one of the biggest endurance races in the world in the Spa 24 hours. And to be a part of that will be absolutely fantastic. No doubt that will be well received with those around the paddock at the Spa 24 hour. And I know a lot of drivers a lot of the F1 drivers even were tuning into our races when we were with them. I know Fernando Alonso was actually watching our race at Zandvoort to pick up some tips ahead of the Grand Prix there. So I mean, I don't think they're coming back here, but who knows? Maybe he's watching again now. It was great to hear that we had someone like him tuning in. He talked about it in an interview at the Grand Prix. I don't see any particular movement down at pit lane from where I am across the other side of the circuit. Our view is slightly blocked. Can't exactly see what's going on down there, but from the view we have, it's remained the same so far. Hopefully we're going to get a race going again. Franco Colapinto will be looking to move up from 9th. He actually won here last year in the Formula Renault Euro Cup. RSGP, who locked out the podium yesterday, have been very successful at this circuit over the years, winning with Caio Collet last year, Alex Smollett the year before. Then they won both races with Robert Schwartzman and Will Palmer after that. And some big names as well when the Formula Renault Euro Cup were here, the likes of Kamui Kobayashi in 2005, which was a season finale, one with the Prema Power team. Pastor Maldonado won both races in 2004, Felipe Massa in 2000, Augusto Farfus in 2001. Of course, we'd only had, in terms of the Formula Regional European Championship, it had only been going for 2 years, so we'd only been here twice, and Patrick Pasma took 2 wins last year, so hence we've seen some great pace from him this weekend. And no doubt he'll be very disappointed to have not been able to do that. It's a real shame that he isn't going to take no further part in this race, but thankfully he is okay. But he has very fond memories of this circuit after taking 2 wins here last year. Oliver Rasmussen took the 3rd. And in the season finale in 2019, Igor Fraga doubled up with 2 victories. Frederick Vesting took the other win for the Prema Power team. Well, thanks to everyone who has bared with us. I know we're going to get some, I hope we get some updates for you very, very shortly. For those who have just tuned in, this is the season finale of the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. My name's Chris McCarthy. It is a pleasure to call the action for you, as I have done for the entire season. It's been an absolute privilege to be a part of. And hopefully, very shortly, we're going to have 9 minutes and 50 seconds of racing to take us to the flag. Dino Begnovic will lead the way. We find ourselves in this situation due to an incident at the second chicane, which involved Zay Maloney and Patrick Pasma. Pasma was into the barriers. There is the support group of Dino Begnovic. That is all the people that have come to support him. There is 40 of them in total. Swedish flags are out, and they were going absolutely crazy earlier when Dino came across the line. He was the last car across the line in qualifying and snatched pole position by 3.5 tenths. Medical vehicles were returning, and we can only wish Patrick Pasma all the best. I have been told that he's out the car and he is okay, but really do hope that Patrick is okay, and we wish him all the best, of course, for next year, whatever he gets up to. But we find ourselves in this situation due to that incident. We are making progress. We have the driver out and okay. There may just need to be some repairs to the barriers to make the circuit safe again to go racing on. Well, I don't think they would mind, although they're going to miss a little bit of racing. I really don't think they would be too bothered if it means they can see Dino Begnovic on the top step of the podium. And it would be the first time this season that he'll be there. Here's Emilio Pesce in the number 41. It's been a really difficult season for Emilio. He's been the only driver in the DR Formula set up for most of it. So he doesn't really have anyone to work with in terms of data. The other teams who have 3 drivers, in some cases 4, have the ability to share data with all the other drivers. Now, I've got a message on screen that the race will start behind the safety car at 52 minutes past 12, which is in 3 minutes time. So 3 minutes, everyone, and the race will restart. That is absolutely fantastic news. Here's what we've seen so far. Hajar getting it all out of shape, coming through the Rettifilio. Then Aaron, went into 4th and then into 3rd place in that number 1 red and white Prema car. Maloney went side by side with Saucy there, getting his elbows out as Saucy had to take to the gravel. Ido Cohen took a spin down at the second chicane. That brought out the safety car, and then we saw contact between the 2 teammates, Vidales and Aaron. Begnovic got a gap of 1.7 seconds. Bortoletto, sadly, was turned round by one of the KIC drivers. And then this was the incident where we saw Patrick Pasma and Zane Maloney involved, and that has seen the red flags come out to make sure we extract Patrick Pasma from the car safely and do any necessary repairs on track. Andrea Rosso has a chance to make some places. He's not going to have very long. He sits 30th overall. He could be one to watch next year. He's had a very encouraging end to this season. Those who have just tuned in, the race will restart, and it will restart behind the safety car in 1 minute and 40 seconds. The clock will be ticking. Then as soon as the safety car comes in, we will be back at full racing speed. It's going to be a sprint to the end. We're going to probably have about 5-6 minutes, maybe 7 at most on the clock when we see them coming across the line for the first time since the red flag to resume the race. And it's going to be flat out attack from the likes of Vidales, Hadjar, who said on the grid, nothing less than a win will do for him today. Aaron will be looking to recover, having lost 3rd place and dropped down to 5th. He had made up those places, having lost them to a 2-place grid drop. He's lost them again in this race. Now he needs to gain them back again. We saw Nico Gola there on screen, a driver who's made great progress throughout the season, matched his best result of the season yesterday with a 19th place out of 35 cars for a rookie of his experience. That's a pretty good result. Lena Bula's been one of the biggest movers in this race so far. She has gained 9 places in total to go from 35th to 26th. Looking to end the season on a high. 20 seconds until the safety car comes out, and the clock will start ticking again at that point, and officially the race will be underway, but we will get back at racing speed at the, I'd imagine at the end of the lap. The safety car will pull in, and Beganovic will be hoping to make it 3 restarts absolutely nailed. Well, thanks to every person who has bared with us. Thank you for your patience. Welcome to any new viewers to the season finale of the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. We are going to finish this one on circuit, which is great news. To have finished a fantastic season in the pit lane would have been a huge shame. But thankfully, the guys here at the circuit have done a fantastic job to make sure all the necessary work was done efficiently and at a nice speed as well, to ensure that we do go racing here once more. It's the 20th and final race of the season of what has been an absolutely thrilling season. 8 different race winners, 14 different podium finishes. If Beganovic can win, he will become the 9th different winner in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. If Kaz Havercourt can gain a few places, he will become the 15th different driver to finish on the podium. But the man looking to get to the top with all of his fans here is Dino Beganovic. He's had a lot of misfortunes at times this season, but was it all for a reason? Was it for the reason that he wins in front of his sponsors on the only occasion they've had to come to the circuit this year? Time will tell. As soon as the safety car comes in, Dino Beganovic will control the field. And so far, each time, he's excessively weaved coming down the back straight. And as soon as he sees Vidales back off slightly, he nails the throttle and he's gone. Right, here we go, lights are out. I'm going to say it again, thanks once more to everyone who's bared with us. We are going to have a race, a 7.5 minute sprint. Who's your money on? Dino Beganovic will lead the way, Vidales will be second, Hadjar third, then it will be David, Aron, Mini, Havercourt, Maloney, Colapinto and Belov, and we are underway it seems. Beganovic going very early there, and Vidales has gone with him. Beganovic not as good a restart as he's had in the recent times, but a very good restart nevertheless. It's not as good as he's done before, but he has a gap over Vidales as we go racing once more here at Monza in the season finale, down towards the first corner, and Beganovic, no need to defend for him, but Vidales perhaps will have to as we get to the Rettifilio. There you can see Vidales is defending as we hit the anchors and go into the first corner. Aaron round the outside there of David, and Aaron goes through into fourth place. It was almost a replay of the start of the race. Vidales though very, very good through the first chicane, and he is right on the tail of Beganovic as we come round Curva Grande. We have a look back at Gabriele Mini in sixth place, having to defend from Havicourt and Maloney. Leaders side by side. Vidales to the outside, trying to go round the outside there. Both the leaders go off. Oh dear, big incident. Oh no, Beganovic round. Vidales out of the race as well, and Isaac Hadjar's going to go through into the race lead. Safety car will be out at minimum there. Oh no, that's Marin Angeli off into the gravel and into the barriers. A big incident there involving both of our race leaders, and Hadjar has gone through into the lead of the race. Safety car is deployed. Well, Vidales, it was not an intentional incident. He's hit as they both went off the circuit, he found himself airborne there, and Vidales immediately out of the car and running over to Beganovic to check he's okay. What a shame. What a shame. Vidales going for the move. They both outbraked themselves. Both were forced to go off. And Vidales momentarily airborne there, and at that point he had no control over his car. Here we go, cold tyres into the chicane. They've both run wide, and as they go over the chicane, Vidales just hits the bump at a wrong angle, momentarily airborne, and at this point there's nothing he can do to stop the incident. That's going to see Beganovic clattered into, both of them into the barriers, both of them out of the race, and very good avoidance behind, particularly from Mini, who weaved in the middle of them, as did Maloney. Marin Angeli, though, very shortly is going to find himself off into the grass and out of the race. He was on for a personal best result. What a shame for him. Safety car is deployed. We don't have long to go in the race. I wonder if this is going to be your lot. We have to get two cars back. At most, we'll get a one-lap shootout, but with the situation we're in, I'm really not too sure if that's going to happen. Hadjar is now the leader from Aaron, David, Havicourt, fourth. That'll be a personal best result for Kaz. Mini, fifth. Colapinto, sixth. Maloney, seventh. And then behind that, it'll be Belov and Alatalo. The timing screen just updating itself. Safety car going past the incident there. What a shame. Dino Beganovic, who had driven so well. He'd done everything right. The incident will be investigated after the race, but what a shame to end on. It's just almost not meant to be this season for Dino Beganovic. And you have to feel for him. These are young drivers trying to make their way to the top of the sport. And this is their chance to try and impress those teams at the top, and Dino had done everything right. He wanted to go back to the team, to all his supporters with that trophy in his hand, and through no fault of his own at all, he is sadly out of the race. A real shame. Such a nice guy as well, Dino Beganovic, a member of the Ferrari Driver Academy. And he's worked so hard this year. He's found himself in situations where he has been taken out of chances of podiums and race wins through no fault of his own. And this is just adding to that list, sadly. We come across the line once more. Hajar leading the way under the safety car. We are having a slight timing issue, so the race clock has, I can't tell you exactly how long it's gone in this race. We are having a technical issue up at timekeeping, and because of that, it's hard to know what the positions are as well. Hajar, Aron, David, Havercourt, Mini, Colapinto, Maloney, Belov, Alatalo, and Saucy are your top 10. And just outside of that, Quinn, Boyer, Megatuniv, Petikov, Van Hoff, Pizzi, Barrichello, Smith, Fluxa, and Callum Hedge. A real shame, not just for them, but for the Prema team as well, who had looked on at one stage for a podium lockout. But it's not meant to be on this occasion. They will have one car on the podium in Paul Aron. But he will be the only one to finish on the podium, as the other two cars are cleared. And of course, they're not the only ones having to be cleared as well. We also have the car of Nicola Marinangeli, which needs to be extracted from the circuit. Let's have another look at it then. It's Vidalis to the left, Beganovic to the right. They both run wide, and as they're trying to rejoin the circuit, Vidalis has just hit the curb at a completely wrong angle, hit that sausage curb at a wrong angle, flies into the air. Beganovic couldn't have gone any further left than what he had. There was nothing he could do at all to avoid that. But he's shown his quality today. I know that's something that he wouldn't want to hear. Marinangeli, what a shame for him as well, into the barriers. He got a personal best result yesterday. But Beganovic, it will not be something, of course, that he would like to hear right now, but he really has shown his quality today. He hadn't done anything wrong. He had led from the front. Every time he'd nailed the restarts. That time he found himself under pressure. The pair of them ran wide. And as he rejoined, which he did so safely, unfortunately, Vidalis did not quite rejoin in the same manner. And a shame for Vidalis as well. He wasn't intentionally trying to do anything, but Vidalis, just a slight misjudgment, I think, is the best way you can call that, and it led to sadly catastrophic circumstances, which have seen both cars out of the race. This is the last lap, by the way. It's a real shame that we're going to end such a fantastic season behind the safety car. It is not how any one of us would have wanted it to see. The championship, the drivers, you, the viewers, this isn't how we wanted it to end. But we need cars cleared, and we need them cleared safely. And this just happens in racing sometimes. But this is the final lap of the 2021 season. Isaac Hajar leading Paul Aron, leading Hadrian David. Isaac Hajar wanted nothing less than a win, but this isn't at all how he would have wanted to do it. But he was in the position to be the one that benefited out of that incident the most. There's Zane Maloney, who's going to end his season with a 7th place finish. Well, as I said, to anyone thinking of leaving us, do make sure, of course, that you join us next season. We're going to have our first round at Monza on the 23rd and 24th of April. Imola will be on the 7th and 8th of May. Then Monaco is round 3 on the 28th and 29th. And then we go to Paul Ricard on the 4th and 5th of June. Zandvoort on the 18th and 19th of June. Hungaroring on the 9th and 10th of July. Then we're at the Spa 24-hour on the 28th and 29th of July. Then it's the 10th and 11th of September for the Red Bull Ring. Barcelona is on the 15th and 16th of October. And then after that, the 22nd and the 23rd of October, we will end our season next year at Mugello. We will start it where we finish it this year. Well, not only is Isaac Hadjar going to crown himself as the winner, it's only his 2nd win of the year, his 1st since Monaco, but that is going to be Hadrian David confirmed as our vice champion and Paul Aron confirmed as 3rd place in the championship to round out the championship podium. So our rookie champion will lead 3rd in the championship, will lead our vice champion for 2021. They head around the final corner. The safety car will pull in and Isaac Hadjar will take us up to the line to take just his 2nd win of 2021, and he is the rookie champion in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. Aron, it's another podium for him this year. He has taken so far 6 podiums, that's his 7th of the season, and Hadjar and David, adds to what has been already a huge number of podiums for him this year. It's going to be his 9th of the season, and he is the vice champion in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. It's a personal best for Kaz Havikul. Big shout out to him. His best results so far this season was a 6th place. He got those at Zandvoort and at Mugello. And it is Kaz Havikul who's going to end in 4th place. Gabriele Mini ends with a solid 5th place finish. Colapinto ends with a 6th. Maloney in 7th. Once again in the points, he'll be 4th in the championship. 5th will be Hadjar. 6th then will be Colapinto. And behind that, it'll be Gabriele Mini, who will be 7th in the championship. Belov will be 8th in the championship. 9th in the championship will be Alex Quinn, and 10th in the championship will be David Vidales. Belov 8th, Alatalo 9th, Saucy 10th overall. We'll go through the result in its entirety. It's Quinn 11th, Boyer 12th, Megatuniv 13th. Here it is. Let's go through it as you see it. Hadjar wins from Aron and David. 2 RHGP cars on the podium. At least 1 car for Prema. They can have that to look back on. Havikul 4th, Mini 5th, Colapinto 6th, Maloney 7th, Belov, Alatalo, Saucy. 11th is Alex Quinn, then it's Mari Boyer, and 12th, Sami Megatuniv 13th, Gianluca Petikov 14th, Delano Vanhofer, best result for him in 15th, Francesco Pizzi 16th, and that has got to be one of the best results for Dudu Barrichello as well, up in 17th place. Well done to him. That is just 1 shy of his best of the season. Solid end. Smith, Fluxer and Hedge round out your top 20. Then it's Norse, Deli Gawanti, Bula up to 23rd from 35th. Gola, Pesha, Rosso, Goethe, Bortoletto, Bardignon, Lapalainen, Beganovic, Vidales, Marinangeli, Pasma, Cohen out of the race. All those on your screen now out of the race. The cars come down in formation towards the pit lane. And as Isaac Hadjar takes his 2nd win of the season. Your top 10 in the championship, to go through it one more time. Gregor Saucy is the champion. Your vice champion is Hadrian David. Paul Aron 3rd in the championship to round out the podium. Zay Maloney finishes 4th in the championship. Isaac Hadjar 5th. Then in 6th, it is Franco Colapinto. 7th is Gabriele Mini. 8th is Michael Belov. 9th is Alex Quinn. 10th is David Vidales. Isaac Hadjar out of the car. He did this at Monaco, and he does it at the end. What is set for this young man next year? He has got a very bright future, and yes, he will be in Red Bull livery next year. He will be an official Red Bull Junior. He was signed earlier this year, and he will run in the Red Bull colours next year. Hadrian David, there's no doubt he's going to be doing big things next year. RHGP can celebrate teams champions as well. Fantastic year for them. They beat ART to the title with Prema in third. And Paul Aron, I'm sure we will see him move up. He's going to be testing FIA F3 next week. And no doubt, I'm sure, it's very likely we will see him on that grid next year along with these two. Many drivers will be moving up into FIA F3 next year. That's what this championship was designed for. I hope we see Kaz Havercourt back. If he does, he'll be a championship contender next year, as would Gabriele Mini. Franco Colapinto has a very bright future ahead of him, doesn't he? Already races in European Le Mans and raced in the 24-hour of Le Mans. Zane Maloney, I'm sure we'll see him moving up next year. Likewise, Michael Belov, William Alatalo. Interested to see what he does next, and our champion, no doubt, will move on. I'm sure we will see him on that FIA F3 grid next year. It didn't quite end how we wanted it to, but don't discredit Isaac Hadjar, who drove a brilliant race. He is our last winner of 2021. Let's hear from him now.
Hi Isaac, what an amazing season, the rookie title, and this is the second win in this season. How do you feel?
Yeah, I'm very happy. It's I think my best weekend so far with Monaco. I had a tough second mid part of the season, and I'm very happy to end with a victory. It's not the victory I wanted because I clearly had the pace to win on track. But yeah, it's still a win, and we won as a team. We are constructor champion, so very happy. I mean, team champion. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's not quite at that level yet where he can call it Constructors' Champion, but there's a good chance he'll be one day. Here's a look back at the highlights then. We started under the safety car. Dino Begnovic would lead us down to turn one. Isaac Hadjar got a little bit out of shape under brakes, and Paul Aron pounced to go through into fourth place ahead of Hadrian David. Then he was absolutely on fire as he'd go past Isaac Hadjar into Ascari. It'll be the three Prema drivers leading in the background. RSGP driver Zane Maloney put what a great move in through the Ascari chicane. Ido Cohen had a spin down at the second chicane. Safety car was out when it came back in. We saw the two Prema teammates going wheel to wheel and colliding into turn one, which saw Aron going straight on. Gabriel Bortoletto was turned round by one of the KIC cars into the first chicane. Then we saw an incident here involving Patrick Pasma, who went into the barriers, that would bring out the red flag while we extracted him from the car and repaired the barriers. And then when we got going, it was like a repeat of the first start. But sadly, this is where our race would end. David Vidales hitting the sausage curb at a bad angle and clattering into his teammate and race leader Dino Begnovic, who was trying to take his very first win this season. That would bring out the safety cars, and with 3 cars to clear with Marin Angeli also involved, Isaac Hadjar would have a complete exact repeat rather of his weekend in Monaco, a second and a first to help RHGP win the team's championship. Well, we're going to have one final podium of the season. Paul Aron eventually finishing second. He was up and down the order in that race, wasn't he? Second in the end. I think he'll be fairly satisfied with that one. Championship podium as well. He's recovered this very well, I have to say, in the second part of the season. He started the season very well. The middle part of it didn't exactly go to plan, but he came back fighting in the past few rounds. That double win at Mugello as well really got him on the front foot. And it got him into contention, but he was beaten to second by Hadrian David, the man in the middle of your screen. Isaac Hadjar, rookie champion as well, and the top 5 in the championship overall. Well, it is the most famous podium at Monza. Got to go out there earlier this weekend. It really is some sight when you head out there and see the circuit in front of you. Must be an amazing feeling for these guys walking out onto that. And very shortly we will see them go onto the podium for the final time of the season. There it is. We will see RHGP. A team member from RHGP will also go on there as well. They can now officially call themselves teams champions. They have been a real force this year. They started very, very well, and that's just continued throughout the entire year. Let's get our drivers onto the podium then. Finishing in third place is Hadrian David. Finishing in second place is Paul Aron, the Prema driver. It's going to be a bittersweet podium for Prema. But taking the win for the second time this season is Isaac Hadjar. We'll have a team member from RHGP out there as well as teams champions. Then we'll hear the national anthem of France. Thank you to everyone who's watched this season. We will be back next year to do it all again here at Monza on the 24th of April. We will see you then.